into my song.
My name's Carol and I'm reviewing Andrew Huang's music production course. So first I'm going to talk about what I liked the most on the course. For me, the best thing about these video lessons was that they were made by Andrew. He's always been very generous with his content, describing his working process, giving people advice. So it was very easy for someone like me who's watched his videos over a number of years to just kind of slot in and understand where he was going with it. Yeah, really the best part of Andrew's course is Andrew. I've been recording music for a long time. I recorded my own album when I was 18 in the loft with a headset microphone and a copy of Audacity, and I just guessed really and just did it. This was the first time that I'd actually learned from someone who was teaching, and I think it goes beyond video tutorials on YouTube. Like, this was some intensive study and practical work. So I was able to get to grips with things like samples and plugins and synthesis. This was always where I felt like I was lacking the very technical sound science aspect. I didn't know things like cutting low frequencies for everything, not just vocals. It was great to get some real instruction. I enjoyed the project. There were 3 songs to make and kind of like 3.5 topics to cover. So the first one was just electronic production, the second was sample-based production but also a little bit of synthesis thrown in there, and then the last one was live instruments, vocals, that kind of thing. It was a steep learning curve, but that's to be expected for something that was a month-long course, and if you've committed to learning a pretty complex skill in a month, then you will expect it to be a pretty intense learning situation and a reasonably heavy workload. My songs really turned out very well. I wasn't expecting to be able to come up with something from scratch so quickly and then have it a kind of near finished product in a week or so, but the way Andrew presented the content just really facilitated that kind of free-flowing creative feeling. I still want to add vocals to my second song, and I still want to really take my time over the mix and then the mastering. It was great to be part of a peer group, and also like an extended peer group where people that weren't in my lists at the side did occasionally pop up in my feed. So I was able to connect with people that I've never met, people from all over the world, people with different professions, different musical heritage. It was great that the feedback was part of the course, because it would be very easy to just upload your stuff and ignore everybody and go back to what you were doing, but the course sort of forced you to actually interact with other people, listen to their music in full and give like an informed bit of feedback. I was pleased to be able to give one person really detailed feedback about songwriting. It was just a joy to be able to encourage other people, so that's so important. The one problem is occasionally you would get feedback that wasn't really feedback. It was just a comment like, cool, I needed some information here, mate, come on, give me something. I guess there was no kind of screening process for comments or whatever, so you were just trusting your peers to say something useful. Except for one occasion, that was the case. So I had some great feedback, really good detail. It was just so much positive vibes, like people were really willing each other to do well. Personally, I felt a little bit at a disadvantage because while the course was structured well in terms of spreading out the work, I don't get that much time on weekends. I get my time during the day when my little girl's at school, and I can take my time. That meant that whenever Andrew said, oh yeah, take your time this weekend to finish off this song and really finesse it, and I'm like, I have got no time for finessing. So as much as I would try in the week to be ahead, by the time the Monday came around I'd just be rushing, and it was a little bit frustrating. I've never actually taken an online course before. The only thing I have to compare it with is like edited down YouTube tutorials, but this was more about going in note by note. I was fortunate enough to take advantage of the discount price that Andrew was kind enough to extend to the second round of the course, but otherwise it may have been more difficult for me to access. Would I recommend this course? Absolutely. Thanks, goodbye. Deep into desire.